Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Well, this yesterday was the final day of the 50-cent sale at New Dimension Comics. Their dollar bins, everything in them was marked down to 50 cents per item. And today I would just like to show a smattering of the comics that I got. I got over 60 comics through the course of this week in various visits to New Dimension stores around this Pittsburgh area. But today I just wanted to show a quick little glimpse into what I got and what we might see on the show moving forward. Starting off, I got this great G.I. Joe mini comic, which they put these out back in the 80s, and they each reprinted 3 issues worth of material, which is great in this tiny little package here. Very cool little digest. They did one that had the Immortal Silent Mission issue in it. This is not the one, unfortunately, but it does have 3 very cool issues, including featuring my favorite character, Quint, from G.I. Joe. One of my favorite characters. There's a lot of cool characters. Some good Herb Trimpe in here, some Mike Vosberg. Yeah, some great classic G.I. Joe action. So too small to really show on the to cover completely on the show, but fun to look at anyway. Earlier in a previous dollar bin dive, I had gotten Green Arrow number 2. Well, I secured a nice looking copy of Green Arrow number 1, and my intent is to cover this entire series on the show, so this one you'll probably be seeing soon, so I'm not going to waste too much time on that here. This great copy of the early issue of the Wolverine series, number 11, The Gehenna Stone Affair, part 1. The neat thing about this is it's got Bill Sienkiewicz inks over John Buscema pencils. So very cool and moody result when those two, that odd couple pairing, gets together. Very neat. I like it. Another cool thing about this story, Jessica Drew, the ex-Spider-Woman, Chris Claremont reclaims her and kind of brings her back into the Marvel Universe in this series. So pretty fun and neat Kevin Nolan cover too. That's another good one. Excellent here. This is a good pickup. Beat up, nice reader copy of the Judas Contract, the first installment, Tales of the Teen Titans number 42. So extreme Perez and Wolfman Titan stuff. Really good. Beginning the tragic tale of Tara's betrayal of the team. And then, of course, right next to it in the dollar bin was the conclusion of the Judas Contract, which happened in Teen Titans Annual number 3. And this one's even more beat up, but again, it's a great reader copy showing some very cool vintage Perez Titans action. And this is the second appearance of the Nightwing identity and costume for Robin. So very cool, that one. I picked up this great Captain America issue, just a very cool specimen of Mark Gruenwald, Ron Lim, Danny Bulanati era of Cap. Super solidly done here. Just really, Ron Lim is such a pro. Really great to see his stuff. And Danny Bulanati, rest in peace, Danny, was a fantastic inker. So this is a very cool piece of Captain America history here, circa the late 1980s. Actually, this is 1991, Cap 385. Another of our Sabertooth classics, which I've occasionally covered on this show. This one originally represented, I think, in XMen 219. Yeah, it's a Brett Blevins story. Very slick and stylized Brett Blevins artwork. And Sabertooth really doesn't appear in this story towards the second half. And he ends up getting his butt kicked pretty well, as he often does in these Sabertooth Classics issues. Great story, worth covering on the show. Was not reprinted in Classic X-Men because Classic X-Men ended with 206. That was the last X-Men Classic issue. They reprinted X-Men 206, so this is X-Men 219. Awesome Marvel 2-in-1 annual. Featuring the Champion. Awesome Ron Wilson artwork. Very cool story here with the Champion of the Universe. Very well done. Great annual where Thing ends up in the ring with the champion, and just tremendous, tremendous artwork. Here, look at that. That's pretty incredible. This is Ron Wilson inked by, yeah, Camp, Esposito, Giacoya, Green, Gills, and Stone. So a lot of diverse hands on this one. Very cool. I've been covering Marvel 2-in-1 of late on this show, and I'm going to be doing it more. I picked up these 3 great issues, 83, 84, 85, which I would call the Bill Foster Giant Man saga. We're going to definitely cover that on the show. Once again, more fantastic Ron Wilson artwork. As we can see here, very cool stuff. Love the fight in this number 83 between Sasquatch and the Thing. Very, very cool. Nice stuff. So that'll be fun to cover. Marvel Tales. This is a Byrne issue. Spider-Man, and this is Marvel Team Up 75. Spidey and Power Man. John Byrne, Al Gordon. Really like Al Gordon's inks on John Byrne's pencils here. It's very cool melding of the two styles. So this is good stuff. Reprinted in 1987 on with the flexographic process, and by this time I think they're sort of working out the kinks, so it actually looks pretty good. Nice stuff there. Good one. I mentioned this in a previous episode where I was covering a DC book. There was an advertisement for the Earth Stealers. Well, I ran across it, and for 50 cents, I could not pass it up. Look at this awesome Kurt Swan, Jerry Ordway artwork with a John Byrne story. This one looks off the chain. Look at the scale on this. This is really awesome. Almost like Galactus type stuff here. Not a big Superman fan, I will continue to maintain, but there are certain stories where they're just so well done. I got to give them props, and this one I think will be worth covering on the show at some point. It's just a one and done, one shot. Bill Ray's colors in here are really great too. That was great for 50 cents. Another copy, another issue of Hercules Unbound. This one, number 7. This shows off sort of the odd couple pairing of Walt Simonson and Wally Wood. Walt Simonson pencils and layouts and Wally Wood finishes. Pretty cool stuff here. So it looks nice. We'll definitely take a look at this one at some point. I do love this DC version of Hercules. After, growing up with the Marvel version, it's kind of refreshing to see the DC version. And I've covered this in a previous episode. Check it out if you're interested. The Simonson pencils in that one, he does, I think, the pencils and the inks, and they're much more Simonson. You can see hints of Simonson in this one, especially here. Some of the structure and figure work is more pure Simonson, but Wally Wood dominates his pencils a little bit here, too much, and I don't think we get to see full Simonson in this one. Cool anyway, though, and a nice little Silver Age gem, that. And then I got 3 issues of Walt Simonson Fantastic Four, which is pretty cool. So this one here, this 350, which is a double-sized issue, I don't think Walt is inking himself on this. If I could find the credits here. They may not. Yeah, Al Milgrom inking Walt's pencils. It's a nice combination. Milgrom, I've made the point, is a better inker than he is a penciler in many cases, and it shows here too. It's a nice pairing, but this is undeniably Simonson. So that's 350. Then 344, which is Simonson with Art Thibert inks, which is pretty cool. A little more pure Simonson on this one. Look at that, Johnny Storm. Very cool. Yeah, I didn't read this when it came out. I was only buying a few comics in the 90s when this came out, and this wasn't one of them. But it's nice to pay for 50 cents each. These were great pickups. This one is all Simonson. No inker. He inks himself. This is more earlier on in the run. So yeah, all 3 of these will be worth checking out. can I say, I used to be down on Don Perlin as an artist, but as I've grown older, I have grown to appreciate the work of Don Perlin, especially with the Kim DeMulder inks. They did a long run on Defenders, and revisiting it, I kind of like it. And this Beauty and the Beast limited series, which again, I didn't really pay much attention to when it came out, I'm going to take a closer look at it. I'm going to track it down in the other dollar bins if I can find the other. This is issue 3. It was a 4-issue limited series, so I need to get the other 3. 1, 2, and 4. Great Bill Sienkiewicz covers, but the interiors are cool. These guys know how to tell a story. And it's a sad story and a cool one about prejudice, anti-mutant prejudice, and acceptance of who you are. And just a neat story with some cool action. So props to Don Perlin, a great pro. At this time, he'd been in comics for decades. And I love the Beast, one of my favorite characters. Love his power set. And then finally, in this little stack, I picked up this cool Prince Valiant Hal Foster collection, book 1. Again, this was 50 cents and 72 pages. Pretty great vintage black and white Prince Valiant stuff. Very cool. And again, if you love Al Williamson like I do, I mean, this is kind of where Al Williamson got his inspiration from. Some of this just absolutely gorgeous work. Very cool stuff. And probably won't cover this on the show. It's not really suitable for my format, but I'm kind of covering it here because of that. And you know, this is the kind of thing I'll read on my own, at my own pace, which is nice. You can stick a bookmark in there. It's fairly solid publication. So yeah, that's just, look at that back cover. That's awesome. That's just one small stack of a haul I got this week, visiting the various New Dimension comics for their 50-cent sale. Really good stuff. I also got a stack of Conan. I'm revisiting Conan mainly from issues 100 to 150. So I don't have those here for the camera, but I'll be covering those as well. And I may even take it up to 200 too, because I'm finding these issues of Conan are in the dollar bins and readily gettable. So I may get them, in fact. But anyway, that's just a quick view into my haul for the big 50-cent end of the year sale at New Dimension Comics here in Pittsburgh. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the continuing coverage of comics here on Scott Reads Comics. If you do, like and subscribe, tell your friends, and I will bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.